This is Smoking Out the Closet. Now, here are your hosts.
Hi, I'm Rayven. I use she, her pronouns.
Hi, I'm Asmodeus. I use they, them pronouns.
And welcome back to another episode of
Smoking Out the Closet.
For those of you who are new or just joining us, we are a queer podcast.
Pun intended.
That talks about cannabis,
The LGBT community,
and everything in between.
and beyond.
So welcome.
Welcome.
Okay, so first, the review, and then we'll talk about why we've been gone for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Because we kind of just disappeared with very little notice. Unless you follow us on our Instagram, then definitely keep track of us on our Instagram, because that and I think our TikTok are probably the biggest two social media pages that we're interacting with people. We were on Twitter, but then became X, and then became very trans and homophobic. So we're on there technically, but we're not really posting anything on there anymore.
We're not active.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I have an account, it's just not to post anything anymore, though.
Mm-hmm. So we have gLeaf extracts, extra strength Smores tincture. So according to this, it's about 38.8 milligrams THC per full dropper. I took an eighth, so I took about 5 milligrams roughly.
I took a full dropper.
And you and me had a bit different experiences on that.
Yeah.
So how would you rate this?
It took so long to hit me, and if it even did, I don't know. Like a 3, it's a weird, the chocolate flavor is kind of weird. It has like a oily consistency.
Tastes like old chocolate, like where it kind of tastes like soap a little bit.
Yeah, because it's like oxidized.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like oxidized chocolate.
It's like 2 years ago
from
Christmas, and like Christmas.
Or those coins.
Yeah.
Coins. Yeah.
I would also give it a 3 out of 5. It hit me pretty fast, honestly. Like, we took it, and then we went downstairs, and when you started doing the dishes, that's about when it hit me. So I want to say like 30 minutes, maybe. It hit me pretty fast, but it also went away way faster than it hit me.
You also have not had a lot of cannabis in the past 2 weeks.
That is true. I had a tea break, essentially. But before I say why, I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5 as well, mostly because of the flavor. It did hit pretty well, but I'm not really feeling much.
Yeah, I don't know. Tinctures never really worked for me much either.
They do usually for me, so I took a little lower just to be on the safe side because my tolerance break. So I don't know if that's playing a factor into it or not. But yeah, I took a tea break because of the reason why we've been gone for 2 weeks is I'm healing from a surgery. So on October 30th, I had probably the only gender confirmation surgery I'm going to have. I had a breast augmentation surgery. And I've been told by my doctor that I'm not allowed to smoke or inhale cannabis. He doesn't mind that I use it, but he rather me use like ingestibles instead. And because of how strong those usually are for me, and my kind of bad track record with them, I've just been taking no cannabis for the last 2 weeks. And yesterday sucked because of that for me. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I'm
not gonna lie, I do feel bad when I'm like, I want to go smoke, and I'm like, poor Rayven can't smoke.
Yeah, it's fine. But yeah, it was a very interesting experience, I will say, getting my chest work done. I was very scared for a long time before it. I think I was scared the entire 6 months I had from the consultation to the day I had it done. I was scared every day and just kept getting worse and worse. But honestly, if you're going to get top surgery in any facet, it's not that bad. At least in my case. I can't say anything because I know you want to get top surgery in the opposite direction.
Yeah.
But the surgery itself was not bad. They said, they basically explained that I'm going to get on some antibiotics while, they were prepping me. And I was going to be put under with, what's the word?
Anesthesia.
Thank you. I
You're
could not think of it at all. And I might be a little woozy when I wake up, and I'm like, okay. So I go into the surgery room. Of course, you can't be there at all.
No, I'm out in the waiting room,
which sucked. I'm not gonna lie.
I got antsy. I started pacing. I went and got lunch at one point. I read through like 125 pages of The Shining.
Oh wow!
That day, because I was sitting there so long.
Yeah, I didn't realize how much time had passed. To be honest.
Oh, you wouldn't. You were out.
Yeah.
But anyway, anesthesia.
Yeah, we got there at 9.
Yeah.
I think I was there till about 10. It felt like before they actually put me back in the room.
Mm-hmm.
And the only thing I remember is I'm looking up at the light, and I'm looking at it in like this like weird bulbous thingy. And I'm looking at it, and they're like, "Hey, I'm gonna hook up your IV back up," because they had to disconnect it to get stuff taken care of.
Mm-hmm.
So they just reconnected it, and I guess when they reconnected it, they also put the anesthesia in the line because that's the last thing I remember. Was we're gonna reconnect, and I'm like, okay, I feel, and then I'm like super groggy, waking up, like I feel a gas mask on my face, and there was a couple nurses, I guess, people in scrubs at least, kind of there and talking, and I'm like, okay, and then I wake back up again, and I hear more talking, I'm like, okay, and then I'm like, oh, what? And the moment I started talking, the guy takes the mask off of me, and he goes, okay, you're okay. How you feeling? I'm like, very tired. It's like, it's okay, you can sleep more. I'm like, okay. And then I wake up, I get to a point where I'm like, okay, I think I'm awake. He goes, all right, well, let's get you up. And he takes me into this back room, and I guess he gets me some ginger ale and a cracker, like a small thing of crackers, and then tells me he's gonna go get you.
Mm-hmm.
And then apparently after a certain point, I went white as a ghost.
Oh yeah, I was afraid you were gonna faint.
I think he was too, to be honest.
Yeah. But even before I went back, your surgeon came and talked to me.
Oh yeah, I did.
In the waiting room, pulled me aside and said everything went well. She's just waiting in recovery now. She's very tired, and he was so nice. And he's the one I'm going to have for my top surgery as well, which he does such a good job.
Sadly, he's one of the few people on our side of the state that does gender confirmation surgeries like this. But he had a student kind of like there with him with like the marking and everything part of the surgery.
Yeah.
I was kind of explaining everything and like why he's planning on how to do certain things. I don't know if they were in the surgery aspect at all or not, as I know sometimes they do that. I would have been totally fine with that either way.
Yeah.
Because I think we need more people doing that kind of stuff.
Definitely.
That obviously the only way you're going to learn is, do that kind of thing.
Is to watch, and observe, and then do it.
But yeah, so they gave me a patch on my neck that was good for like 72 hours.
Yeah, for your nausea. And they also gave you that cute little aromatherapy thing, which I thought was really cool. That they were using aromatherapy in a hospital to help with nausea.
That was really nice. I did like that.
I think I put something on top of it so it stayed shut. You might still have some in there.
That would be cool. It did smell really nice.
Oh, it was very good.
So yeah, we came home. I think I just slept the rest of the day.
You did. I sat here and I read, and I think I might have watched some TV, or I think I took a nap at one point. I just tried to stay up here beside you. as much as I could in case you need to go pee or like throw up.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. The first few days were really bad. Just pain and sleeping. I basically slept a lot. And I think the third day of recovery, third or fourth day, I actually did throw up. But I think that's just because I got a migraine because I was playing like crazy catch up, getting hydrated again.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was told before the surgery that like I wasn't allowed to drink anything 3 hours before the surgery. So I was kind of dehydrated going into the surgery, and then I was sleeping so much that I was dehydrated after the surgery.
It did have you hooked up on saline, but I mean that was only during your surgery.
Yeah, so like I think I was playing a lot of catch up because I was sleeping more than I was drinking water. Yeah. But yeah, no, it did. It was nice. I'm still recovering, but like we tried to do it last week, and the 2 days you had off because we had to do a follow up appointment a week after the surgery,
Mm-hmm.
and the 2 days you were off, I was sleeping like crazy still.
Yeah, you were still very tired. You'd be up for like 3 or 4 hours, and then you would sleep for like 2 or 3 hours, and then you were up for a couple hours, and then you would just in and out, and you were like, I wanna spend time with you, and I want to do the podcast. I'm like, baby, you need to sleep. You need to
Yeah.
recover.
I was literally like, I would be eating dinner with you guys.
And you'd be nodding off after you didn't even finish your dinner.
No, I was halfway through and I'd be like, I could feel my head just lolling backwards and like hitting the back of the
And
chair.
I was like, honey, do you need to go to sleep? And you're like, I don't want to.
I'm not a napper.
Well,
I know I need to,
you
though.
need to, yeah.
But it's been an experience. I think I signed up as a mentor for people who wanted to do this.
That's cool.
So if there's any other trans people in the area that want to, like, I can definitely be a mentor for them. Because I'm not gonna lie, it was really scary. But looking back, I shouldn't have been scared. Really shouldn't.
I wanted to be there for you, but I also wanted to make sure that you knew like your feelings are valid, but also your doctor knows exactly what he's doing.
Yeah, he does.
And he does it well. And like I also think it's super cool. I'm the kind of person who's like, absolutely learn as much as you can from me and like do all the things because we definitely need more people down the line to do everything because the people who we have now aren't going to stay around forever.
Yeah, true. And like, it's still new because like we've had these surgeries for a while for like cis people, but the trans care side of it is very new for a lot of doctors. But yeah, it's been interesting. I'm very surprised that is basically where my little incisions are, basically being kept together with glue.
Yeah, they pretty much just like skin safe super glued you together.
Yeah, it's very interesting, but I mean, I'm not bleeding a whole lot to be honest, unless I get into one of my really bad sneezing fits.
Yeah, your doctor was worried about your coughing fits with smoking weed. That he should be worried about your sneezing. Should have gave you an antihistamine, like a really strong one, so you wouldn't sneeze.
And I'll be sleeping more.
Oh yeah, but you know.
I did get really strong painkillers. I think they're oxys.
I think so.
I haven't used them yet. I don't think I need to, so I need to find a way to dispose of those.
Yeah.
When everything's said and done, I'm keeping them until I'm cleared, just to be on the safe side. But I basically just been using Tylenol and ibuprofen.
Yeah.
So.
That first day or two, I was prepared to have to give you one because you had your nausea under control, and then I was like, "Oh, I don't." I was hoping that we could keep up with the Tylenol and ibuprofen, so that way you wouldn't have to use.
We did.
Yeah.
I think I'm taking just my 2 Tylenols in the morning now, and then if I get really too sore, because like the soreness is coming from my skin stretching essentially. But I'm having to wear like these corset sports bra things. So it kind of minimizes like stretch marks or anything. But also kind of helps support it. So like I'm not worrying as much about like accidentally ripping out the glue.
Yeah, because if you don't have any support there, the weight of gravity will tear the glue apart.
So, I mean, it'll be a bit before I can smoke, unfortunately. So we're probably going to be doing a lot of ingestible based reviews.
Yeah.
For a minute, because I think I'm not clear. My ballpark range of being clear, like what, December 14th?
Yeah.
So I got a month. Also, can you believe this is our 99th episode?
Holy cow. Our next one's 100.
Yeah, our next one's 100.
What are we going to do?
I have no idea. We should probably start figuring that out.
Probably. We have like a week.
Yeah. Do you want to get into like some topics we were looking up?
Sure.
Over the break? We have some old news stuff, but we still kind of want to talk about them because it's important. Like stuff we had set aside for a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
Do you want to do the first one?
Sure. So I have gotten a lot of, I can't remember if it's like Banned Book Week or Banned Book Month, but there have been a lot of book ban things coming up on my feed, but also because local elections were just recent.
I will say, thankfully, and hopefully the article gets updated with it, a lot of the Moms for Liberties across the nation, but especially in Pittsburgh, that were like the politicians who were backed by Moms for Liberties, who were pushing for the book bans, did not get elected.
Good.
So hopefully that's been updated in the article.
The article that I first have is from the CBS News Pittsburgh, KDKA, from October 24th. Pittsburgh area school district parents challenge 12 school library books. Parents in the Pine Richland School District filed. I'm so sorry. Why are words hard?
Weed.
Let me start over. Parents in the Pine Richland School District filed challenges to remove 12 books from the school's libraries. They voiced their opinions at a school board meeting, calling several of the books, quote, pornographic. Those parents went to the school leaders to pull these 12 books from the library, even threatening to vote out the board members who disagreed. Cynthia Vogel is one of the community members, not mincing words and asking the school to remove books they consider sexually explicit. It would wound and break the soul of a child, Vogel said, and it will expose and awaken things in a child that shouldn't awaken. A child doesn't have the maturity to process these types of sexual content, end quote. Community members stood up and read a passage from All Boys Aren't Blue by George M. Johnson. It is a young adult memoir about growing up black and queer that became one of the most banned books in the United States. To the men on the board, what if someone sent this book to your son or daughter? One community member said, would you embrace it and accept it for Christmas, or would you find the nearest trash can? Other books currently available to students that they object to include The Handmaid's Tale, no surprise there, and Push by Sapphire. A school board member said that there's an existing policy that allows for people to challenge the available books. Parents are challenging approximately 12 out of some 20,000 books available. That provision in this policy has been in place for a little over a decade now. These are the first 12 or 13 requests they've ever received. Same thing. It's been the same thing of like, we're parents and we have rights to control what our children are exposed to.
Yeah.
But that's where I have the issue.
Because like I'm looking up what's so controversial about All Boys Aren't Blue, and it's literally just talking about being a young queer black person. That's all it states. Like there's nothing like they briefly talk about sex apparently. And of course this is just me going off of like other people saying in different articles and colleges and like Marshall.edu talking about the banned book lists and like why. But it talks about having sex with a man, not going into super detail. It just said that they had sex with a man.
Mm-hmm.
That was it. How is that? How is Oedipus literally is taught in Oedipus? Yes, is taught in high school, but not what I was thinking. Odysseus, Homer's Homer's piece, Odysseus, is taught in school.
Yeah.
That has violence, that has gore. I watched that in high school, and there was a movie production, and they showed the scene where Homer's wife literally goes into the beach, no pants on, no underwear, lets the waves crash into her, and she's basically like using the waves as a sex toy and thinking about her husband Homer. And they showed us that. That is totally. This is ninth grade too, I think. 9th or 10th grade. I want to say it's ninth grade.
Also, Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet. It's teen love and angst and suicide and like.
And that was on in middle school.
Yeah.
And like, so those are all fine, but literally it's because it's gay. It's not okay. We're not saying like we're in the case of like it's gay, it's okay.
Yeah, but that's
why
their
the book
reasoning.
bans.
Yeah. Also, I'm gonna get on my soapbox here real fast. Wherever your local library is, go to their website. They have usually, I mean, my library does. They have a PDF version of the banned book list or like most challenged books. Go read those. Go read banned books because the reason the books get banned is because they're a reflection of the nasty parts of the world. And just go read them. Go expose yourself to them. Go see what the people, those people that are trying to restrain knowledge from you, go see what they don't want you to know.
Yeah, like To Kill a Mockingbird was banned when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
And like when I read that in high school, I'm like, why was this ever banned? It's just showing the bad history of the South.
That's why.
Yeah.
That's why it was banned. It was challenged a lot in the South specifically.
Yeah, I wonder why.
In the North and above the Mason-Dixon line, it was because of the use of the N-word. But it was the time in the book.
It's literally what people would say to people of color, like Black people specifically, like then.
That's like I'm rereading The Shining, and the time period that is set in like Colorado, it's surprising some of the people of how racist they are.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it was set in '79 because it came out in '79.
I mean, people are super racist today still. Like,
it's very unfortunate.
But also, a lot of people don't realize like the people who were like when desegregation came around. My grandfather was in high school in Alabama when desegregation became a thing. Like,
wow,
he was alive for desegregation, and like I don't think a lot of people realize that a lot of those people are still fucking alive.
Yeah.
I think he was in high school. He was born in 55.
Okay.
So, can't remember. It was the 60s, so it might have been in middle school. Like,
he's only a year older than my mom.
Yeah, my grandpa and your mom are about the same age.
Wow. That's crazy.
You have old parents,
I do. They waited to have. They're later in life. They had me.
But yeah, definitely read banned books because a lot of the times, and especially if it's anything from Moms for Liberty,
anything they want to ban, read it.
Read it.
There's so much wrong with it. It's just the restriction of knowledge is the first thing that just grinds my fucking gears. And also, I take the same stance on censoring music. It's fucking art. Don't censor art because then you lose the value. You lose the impact that piece of art has. And it's also the same of like banning books, restricting knowledge, but also like it's freedom of speech, it's freedom of the press, it's freedom of expression. Like
there's so much wrong with it, but then it's because of a older law, and I can't remember which. It was like I can't remember the Supreme Court case, but it's because there was a Supreme Court case of what is obscene, what counts as obscene and pornographic, and at the end of it, the Supreme Court basically went, well, you know it when you see it. It is inherently known to you what is obscene and what is pornographic. And because of that, that's why these book bans can, happen and why things like this do happen. Which is really dumb because what I consider obscene and vulgar can be totally different than another person's definition. Like, there is no one inherent like level per the law and how the government has set it. So that's where it gets a bit confusing and frustrating, because say someone walks down the street in like an athletic sports bra and Daisy Duke shorty shorts, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's the middle of summer. I would have been, okay, yeah, they're hot. Like, it's hot outside. It's like 90 degrees.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever. I don't care. They're not hurting anybody. Their bits are covered. I don't care, you know? But then someone else could say, like an older person, typically, or even people our age have been kind of like this too. But like, someone could say, like, oh, they're exposing too much skin, that's obscene. Heck, the Amish, what I consider obscene and what the Amish community considers obscene, totally different things.
Oh yeah. Also, who is anybody to tell anybody else what to do with their own fucking body?
Exactly. And that's the thing that irks me the most, you know?
Yeah.
We got a few minutes before the break. Do you want to send a little congratulations to our neighbors?
Oh fuck yeah, Ohio.
Ohio.
Gee, I'm like, who the fuck? I'm like, what did our neighbors do?
So
I was thinking about actually like our adjacent neighbors, like on either side of our walls right now.
No.
I was like, oh yeah, Ohio, good job.
So congratulations to the people of Ohio. You guys not only voted on issue 2, which allows y'all to become recreational, which we've been talking about for the past, I want to say like 2 months now.
Mm-hmm.
But you guys are going rec, so congratulations. We will be stopping by your dispensaries here when that becomes started, because we want to review your weed.
Absolutely, and we're only like a 30-minute drive away.
But also, you guys voted yes on issue 1, which adds abortion rights to the state constitution.
Which, fuck yeah, Ohio. Hell yeah.
Very good on you guys. So, 1, claps all around, golf claps for the abortion rights. Good on you. But also, fuck you guys, because you beat us
to
at
go
going
rec.
rec. And I'm not mad at you guys. I'm mad at our state and our government. Pennsylvania, get your shit together. We are literally being hotboxed right now with one little tiny, barely touching us vent in that hotbox, and that's fucking West Virginia.
But also, why have you not seen how much revenue you are losing to Maryland?
Yeah.
Have you not seen? Has nobody in the Pennsylvania governmental system been paying attention to where their residents are going and spending their money and where the taxes are getting collected? Then why don't they fucking do something?
Too many obtuse people that are against cannabis in the government, and some of them can't be voted out, like here in the Pittsburgh area. I can't remember who it was, but I think it was Matt Dugan, who was running for district attorney, was very pro cannabis, and he lost by 3% votes.
Oh, jeez.
But it's those people, we can't get them voted out, who are very staunchly against cannabis.
Yeah.
And I mean, against other things too. But it's really hard, because there's I mean, hell, we are so late to a lot of things. We just got alcohol in gas stations and grocery stores, and it's not even liquor. It is wine and beer.
Anything under, like, I think anything under 10%.
Yeah, and we just got that, what, like 4 or 5 years ago?
Mm-hmm.
So
actually, it might be 15, because some IPAs and some like crafts are like 13%. Yeah. So anything under 15, that's like beers, lagers, wines, whatever, nothing hard liquor, because that's still controlled by the state stores. But yeah,
we gotta hit our break.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, but yeah, we're catching up on a lot of shit. But a quick word from our affiliate program, about our affiliate program. Pretty in pink and purely wood pulp derived, Blazy Susan pink rolling papers and cones will add a pop of color to your next smoke sesh. Their classic pink papers are naturally dyed, vegan, GMO free, and food safe. They contain no amounts of heavy metals or pesticides unlike other paper producers. Care about what goes in your lungs with Blazy Susan papers and cones. Use promo code BGSOTC20 at checkout to get 20% off with your friends at Smoking Out the Closet. Plus, get free shipping on orders over $50 in the United States. And we are back.
Woo.
You got another article?
I do. I'm on my banned book train right now.
Keep it going.
We're talking about Scholastic now, and this holds a special place in my heart because I can remember Scholastic book fairs very vividly in elementary school.
Saying that's how I got into The Diary of a Wimpy Kid and Captain Underpants books.
Heck yeah. This is from CNN from October 25th. Scholastic reverses a decision to make the books on race and LGBTQ issues optional at elementary school book fairs.
Which is dumb.
Scholastic has reversed a decision to allow school districts to opt out of offering a wide range of diverse books, including those that discuss subjects like racism and LGBTQ issues. So they are reversing. They said, okay, you can have the option to opt out of these things.
Mm-hmm.
And now they're saying, no, fuck you. We're just sending you them anyway. Which, good Scholastic.
Okay. I hate when the article...
The title is misleading a little. But yeah, I read the first part of it, and I'm like, okay, we have to fucking talk about this because I loved my Scholastic book fairs, and the fact that they're just going to be like, hey, we're sending them to this is because they have a preset amount that they send to every school that's the same spread of books, but they might give you more depending on how many kids you have or whatever, or like the larger set if you have a larger library. But like, it makes my heart happy because these kids are going to have resources for, that I didn't
of representation.
Yeah, representation. They're going to see themselves in these books. And like, the article continues on. The company offered a collection of 64 titles called Share Every Story, Celebrate Every Voice, that includes quote, titles we support even as they are the most likely to be restricted, a Scholastic spokesperson previously told CNN. The person said that the move was in response to dozens of state laws and pending legislation targeting books across the United States and would have allowed districts to elect not to offer the collection at their annual book fairs. But on Wednesday, Scholastic said that it was working to, quote, find a better way to combat efforts and target and ban books. The collection of books will remain available online at Scholastic book fairs this fall, the spokesperson told CNN, but the publisher said it will not be offered in January of 2024. Scholastic said it would keep in mind the needs of our educators facing local content restrictions and children that we serve. We understand now that the separate nature of the collection has caused confusions and feelings of exclusion, Scholastic said in a statement, and it's unsettling that the current diverse landscape in the U.S. is creating an environment that could deny any child access to books, or that teachers could be penalized for creating access to all stories for their students. The decision to offer diverse books in separate collection faced widespread backlash online, including from a poet, Amanda Gorman, who said her books, Change Sings, was part of the collection. It honestly feels like a betrayal. As an elementary student, for weeks I'd save every single penny I had for the Scholastic book fair because it felt like a safe place to explore and choose for myself what books I wanted to read, what stories I wanted to find, representations of myself in, Gorman wrote on social media last week. I am very confused with this article. What exactly is going... Okay, so I guess they made like their own separate collection of these books that they like send out, right?
Yeah, so what it seems like is they have these things where like, okay, we're going to have this... Because they did divide it for a section like by sections for a minute, and I think what they're doing is they're implementing this one that has like representation focused, and what they had was a way for the schools to opt out of it, and the student that they or the person they interviewed, basically was saying it felt like a betrayal that the school opted out of it.
Okay, they opted out of.
Yeah, and a betrayal that Scholastic did that.
Okay.
And so this might be like before, obviously like before the Scholastic is saying, you know what, you're not opting out anymore. We're setting it all.
Okay.
That's how I'm taking it.
There was the context here was I was kind of confused. I'm not gonna lie. This is why I don't watch CNN. But yeah, they went on to talk on that point more. It was part of what made me want to write children's books in the first place. I never thought that my work would be a #1 New York Times bestseller, or that the very place that had inspired me would censor my words. In addition to Gorman's work, the separate collection included titles addressing Black and Latino history and the biographies of the Supreme Court Justice Katanja? I don't want to mispronounce her name.
Yeah, I mean, that's probably about as close as I'd get.
Katanja Brown Jackson, former NFL quarterback Colin Kaepernick, boxing legend Muhammad Ali, and NBA superstar LeBron James. CNN previously reported.
Before we go any further, I would like to share this little tidbit about Scholastic for a second, because I was thinking, like, who owns Scholastic? And I feel like I haven't confirmed or denied this yet. I feel like Disney owns it right now. Like, it's a subsidiary of Disney, and that's why they have a lot of Disney-based Scholastic stuff.
Yeah.
But, did you know that it was founded in 1920 by Maurice R. Robinson near Pittsburgh?
What? No. Oh, wow. Okay, here, one more thing on the scoreboard of why Pittsburgh's fucking amazing.
Right? Which explains why the bookstore near us has a lot of Scholastic books in the window.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I wanted to say that real fast, because yeah, it was founded near Pittsburgh. So cool. Near Pittsburgh can be considered any of the suburbs of Pittsburgh.
Honestly, it could also be considered Monroeville, depending on who you are. Mm-hmm. I am not one of those people. I just hit my mic. I'm so sorry. I am not one of those people to consider Monroeville Pittsburgh, but there are a lot of people who consider Monroeville Pittsburgh. At that point, you're about 40 minutes out. I don't think you're considered Pittsburgh anymore.
Mm-hmm. So I got one here from New Jersey, which was published on the 4th. Or updated on the 4th. I'm sorry. It was originally posted on the 28th. New Jersey's university cannabis course looks to dispel stigma about pot and hemp. This was written by Brian Duhart from NewJersey.com or NJ.com. The second year of Cannabis and Hemp Research Initiative at Stockton University is sprouting new ideas and new plants. I love that he starts with the pun.
Yes.
It is the second year Stockton has grown the plants to conduct agricultural... Oh no, is it making me do a freaking... Do I have to pay to read this?
Oh no. That's upsetting.
Yeah, it is. I hate that.
I need to get... No, I'm for legal reasons, I'm not going to explain what I'm going to do, but there's a way to get around those.
Oh, yeah, there is.
That I need to
kind of harder on phone.
Yeah.
It is the second year Stockton has grown plants to conduct agricultural and non-medical cannabis and hemp research, according to a statement from the university. The hemp is a part of a botanical class of cannabis sativa grown specifically for industrial or medical use that has little to no THC, the major psychoactive component of cannabis. So it looks like this university is trying to, like, basically, in a little bit of the article I was able to read, just stop it so that, like, patients coming in that we have today, they have, like, their kid or grandkid basically explain all, like, oh, well, I'm going into this, and, like, kind of showing it. And it kind of dispels their fears a little bit, I hope. But also, imagine any of the med program students going in and be like, you know what, I want to work with cannabis. I want to be a pharmacist that works at a dispensary. I want to be a doctor that prescribes cannabis. They can take this course and learn about cannabis on top of their their other medical classes.
Oh, that's awesome.
Like, that is huge. And if they're going to teach like the growing aspect, that's going to help so many people like learn how to grow, help like grow facilities and everything, and people can start their own farms hopefully in New Jersey. It's a step, because then we can push it further down the road and say other schools, say Penn State. You imagine Penn State doing this?
They're an agriculture school in the first place.
That's how they started. They started with the farming college bill that Lincoln put.
Mm-hmm.
And so, because there's so many, there's like 12 greenhouses just on one road of Penn State, like on the main campus.
But you also better believe they are going to have full-time surveillance, like armed guards there.
Oh yeah, definitely. But there's already such a big push for it with like the hemp side at Penn State itself, between the teachers and the students.
Yeah.
And so like, it'd be a great thing just to have like programs. You're like, all right, here's how you grow it. Here's how you use it. Here's how you use it for manufacturing purposes with like hemp. Here's how you use it for medical purposes with cannabis. It's hell. Fucking, it goes wreck here in Pennsylvania. Can you imagine the Penn State Creamery, which is right across the street from those grow facilities that I was talking about, having fucking infused ice cream?
If anybody from Penn State Creamery or anybody in Penn State right now is listening to this podcast, please allow us. Put that in the works. Please allow us in on this. Even if it's only just free infused ice cream, but also creamery, you should invest in like lactase digestive for your milk.
Free.
Yeah, make lactose free ice cream for me, please. Thank you. Because it would taste exactly the same. It's just.
Mm-hmm. No, honestly, I love the Peachy Paterno. That was my favorite one. Yes.
So good. It's worth it. I'll take a handful of dairy pills. I don't care.
Oh my god, are we going to go back to State College?
We need snap pizza and ice cream. Listen, Perks made me want to go back because I need a grilled sticky now too from Walmart. I had a grilled sticky to eat in Park today and it wasn't quite the same.
Also, can I just say, speaking of Perks, which was the first time we were watching it.
Oh my gosh, that movie. Wow.
But was not expecting the gay Ezra Miller character.
I wasn't either.
And like, it's really cool because we got to see the Hollywood and like the JCCP and like how it kind of like, because it's supposed to be set in the 90s, but of course it's like 2010 actual Pittsburgh, so it's kind of weird because we saw some of the JCCPers back then, including our partner.
Put it on my Snapchat story.
I did too. Is there anything else you want to talk about, like the potential of like teaching cannabis in schools?
I think we pretty much covered it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I was just really,
really
thinking there for a second.
One thing I don't want to see, and I do want to add this real fast. One thing I don't want to see that's already happening is sommeliers courses, like with cannabis.
Yeah.
Because yes, it'll be really cool to be an expert on like the grow and everything, but you don't really have to go to these courses and pay like $3,000 to know what you're talking about with cannabis.
Yeah.
And because in my opinion, wine sommeliers kind of a joke nowadays.
Yeah.
Like, and is it nice to have an expert to pair stuff with wine? Yes. Is it nice to have an expert that knows how to like pair things with certain fancy restaurants? Sure. If you want to go down that route, sure, totally fine, but like, I don't think we need that with cannabis. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't think we do either.
I had another article too. So I was originally going to do something else. I might still do this old one. So this one is from the city.nyc. State cannabis agency pauses trials for unlicensed shops. While Governor Holtz talks about cracking down, the Office of Cannabis Management has quietly suspended its enforcement hearings. The city has learned even as it keeps raiding illegal storefronts. This was published October 28th by Rosalind Adams. The State Office of Cannabis Management has stopped holding trials where judges may recommend fines or other penalties for illegal sales, pausing consequences following its raids on unlicensed smoke shops. The State Cannabis Agency made that admission to the city after repeated requests from a reporter to observe one of OCM's enforcement hearings. The office attributed the change to a lack of resources and did not say when it plans to restart the administrative trials. Okay, so kind of catch a lot of people up to speed. I think we've talked about it a little bit before, but not a whole lot of detail. So New York, and especially New York City, has a issue with assigning their licenses right now, because the way New York legalized it and everything, they were going to do a social equity program, and they had it in like certain waves they were going to do. And that's been kind of paused because they told everybody, hey, growers, start getting your farms ready, we're going to have these people licensed here real soon. Everybody's got these buildings and everything, and everyone's literally gun-ho, geared up for it, and they were just waiting for their license to be approved, which that's been a slow process. But it was because one social equity group that was waiting after another group, and someone got into their ear and basically started this infight. So basically, so I think it was either people of color, I think, and queer people, maybe, but I definitely know it was people of color, was set before the veterans. Like, veterans was like wave 2 or 3, and like people of color were like the first one, which, society is affected by the war on drugs, which I think is fair. As a veteran, I think that's fair, Like, we have so much given to us already. Like, let's actually, with the damage has been done, let's kind of fix that first,
Yeah.
So what ended up happening was this one group, which I think was kind of paid for by the anti-cannabis groups, whispered in their ear saying, like, well, why do you have to wait? Why do you have to wait? And so one of the veterans groups sued the state.
Oh, wow.
So that kind of put a slowdown on some things. Now, some people, because how great and everything, were already selling, and they're just not giving a fuck. But some places, you have like these farmers who are waiting and just sitting there on crops that are going to go bad.
Yeah.
And you have these shops who are ready to go, but are just sitting there and having to pay money into something, but getting nothing in return. So you have these companies who are waiting like 6-7 months with an empty building, just basically paying a lease for nothing.
Yeah.
And it's horrible,
Yeah.
I will say there are some farmers market loopholes that they allowed, so farmers can actually just grow and sell straight to people, like kind of getting some of their stock out.
Yeah.
So it's not going bad, because like a lot of people don't think is like, oh, like if you put pause on wine, it's just going to get better, right? If you made it right. That doesn't work with cannabis.
No.
It's going to go bad. It's like a tomato. If you let it sit for too long, it's going to go bad.
Yeah.
So going back to the article, the same email disclosing the OCM had suspended its hearings when its last trial was held on October 20th included a seemingly contradictory statements from OCM Executive Director Chris Alexander about how those hearings are accessible to the public and members of the press are able to attend. He added that the Office of Cannabis Management continues to bolster our staffing levels and update standard operating practices to meet the safety and enforcement needs facing our budding adult use market. Now, here's a thing I have an issue with a lot of cannabis management companies or organizations, I should say.
Mhm.
They are never usually in the benefit of the people. They are either in the benefit of basically we're going to do this, but we're going to make it an uphill battle and basically make it like kind of prohibition with extra steps now to get your stuff done, or like a medical program with extra steps.
Yeah.
Or they are in favor of the MSOs and basically saying like, okay, well, because like California, I know I've said this a bunch of times, but like California, where they change one rule and then you got to shell out another few $1,000s, and then they change a rule and like 2 months later, and you got to pay another few $1,000s. Like the MSOs can pay that, and they're going to willingly pay that, but then they're also going to end up like here in PA, the own like 95% of the market
Yeah.
is
MSOs.
So it gets a bit frustrating. And a lot of people are very wary and kind of, I don't want to say against, but very cautious of these kind of organizations, because most of the time they aren't really for the people. Like some of them, like here in PA, are like, well, you shouldn't home grow. You shouldn't home grow because then we can't regulate it. And I'm like, I mean, I guess, but also shut up. You can buy the seed. If you see them selling on the street, you probably know where they got the seed from.
Mm-hmm.
But also, grow up. As one of my coworkers would say, fucking grow up.
It's a fucking plant.
Yeah.
I want to be able to go whenever they have the seeds for summer and buy Bubba Kush with my summer squash seeds. I want that. I want to be able to pick up a pound of Brussels sprouts and an ounce of weed at the grocery store. That's what I want.
Now I'm just imagining Trader Joe's or like Whole Foods.
Oh my
like
god, yes.
The dispensers.
Whole big wall dispensers, like you see the Jelly Bellies and the coffee and stuff in, but it's full of weed.
Grandpa Joe's edibles.
Yes. Oh my god.
That is for the Pittsburgh community.
If they don't get on top of this when it goes rec, when, not if, but now it's when we go rec, Grandpa Joe's needs to get on top of this. It'd probably have to be an online only shop, or like they'd have to have a completely different storefront or something.
Yeah.
But they should get on it. It would sell so well. Their business is going to go through the roof, though, especially that downtown location. Oh my goodness!
I mean, it's already right next to a dispensary. It's
right next to Sunnyside. I've known people who worked at that Sunnyside, and they would walk to Grandpa Joe's all the time and get those $5 boxes of candy.
Which we need to do that again.
Oh my god, yes, please. We can literally jump on the T and go to a Grandpa Joe's.
We can.
Yeah,
we literally can.
We should. What are we doing tomorrow?
I don't have any plans. Editing the
podcast. This got kind of loose.
Yeah, it's fine. It's our show. We can do whatever we want. It's our show.
Yeah.
Oh, I have one more. Article.
You have another article?
I have one more thing. Not that one. This one? No. There it is. Okay, this one's from New Jersey Biz, njbiz.com. This one's current. It came out literally 2 hours ago. At the time of us reading this. Retired Marine launches unionized cannabis dispensary in JC, which I think is Jersey City. The first service-disabled veteran and Latino-owned cannabis dispensary in New Jersey is open for business after launching the Cannabis Place as New York's first licensed home delivery cannabis service earlier this year. Retired U.S. Marine Osbert Orduna's venture made it to New Jersey, debuted a flagship location on November 9th in Jersey City. Orduna, the Cannabis Place's CEO, said, "We picked this week to open because it's symbolic in many ways. I'm an Iraq veteran. We have Marine Corps Day and Veterans Day. So opening Jersey City's first service disabled veteran-owned business makes this week even more special to us and our team," which is true. You know, the Marine Corps became its own division. I want to say November 10th, 1776. I want to say it used to be part of our Navy, our country's Navy thing. So like that's why everyone jokes that like the Marines are the Navy's kid. But yeah, there was that. There was Veterans Day, so it was. You know, I don't blame them for picking that week to open.
That's pretty cool.
But also, we need to go back to Jersey City.
Yeah.
We need to go back to New Jersey. That was fun. That was a fun trip.
That was so much fun.
We need Wawa again.
Yes, please. I need a panini from Wawa.
I mean, we can go to Philly for that, to be honest.
Yeah.
But
Ren Fair's close. Ren Fair's out there.
Yeah, that's true.
Not close enough. Ren Fair season it just ended. Now I gotta wait until June.
Yeah. I think the one out there is doing a Yuletide event thing, but
I
don't know what that entails.
I also don't know if I want to drive out there with the possibility of there being snow on the ground.
That's fair. That's totally fair.
That's like more than halfway across the state.
Is there anything you want to add?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm making weird noises.
No, you're good. You're good. I'm trying to think if there's anything I want to add. There's not a whole lot. Yeah, I don't know. I think we're good. A little bit shorter episode, but it'll be okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
Well, once again, my name is Rayven. I use she, her pronouns.
I'm Asmodeus. I use they, them pronouns.
This has been another episode of
Smoking Out the Closet.
Bye.
Bye-bye.